1% of dudes rapping, they ain't nice as me. 98% ain't live the same type of life as me. The judge gave me life and then they sent me where the life is be. That level 4 with depth and vice, the type of stuff they like to see. Two choices, fight or flee. I refuse to die a chump. I never been a mark, but damn, it's scary when that riot jump. I seen dudes cry, get pumped, and some sexually brutalized. Knew a dude who lost his life and he was only doing 5 year-long racial fights when homie all you do is ride. Lonely days and nights up in a hole causing suicide. From the moment you arrive, you see the Mexican mafia, AB skinheads with big giant swastikas, pro-black philosophers, the BGF, the Kumi, and Muslims who will murk you from the nation to the Sunni. That MS was loony, quick to ride up on they rival. Even Christians went to church, hide knives up in they Bible. Political and tribal, the Crips and Damus, the Long Beach, the Hubs and the Dubs and the Grooves, the IE, the Bakersfield, the Dago Pyrus, the Hustlers quick to roll, the gangsters don't move.
So last week I was making a video, and during the course of that video somebody called me. I looked down, I paused for a minute. I meant to edit that out, but some people was clowning like, hey Chia, what was that pause about? So a good friend of mine who I'd done a lot of time with, who was a lifer, he was having a birthday party. He was turning 55 years old, and another one of the homies who was also in Ironwood with us was calling me just to make sure that I was, coming to the party. I meant to edit that part out, man, but I had a good time at that party, man. And I don't know exactly what I'm gonna call this video. Something about he had 103 years to life and now he's free. So the friend of mine, his name is E, man, and we was all in Ironwood together, man. It was many of us, Crips and Bloods, and we was all on that yard together 3 or 4 years. So we came to know each other very well. And sometimes you living in the building with people, you interacting on a day-to-day basis, playing, whether it's working together, playing basketball, dominoes, y'all gambling, playing poker, and at some point in time it's almost like you develop a friendship. Many of us was lifers, some of us not, some of us have got out and unfortunately passed away through whatever type of circumstances, man. And it was extremely joyful for me to run across some of these individuals, man. I had to write some of these names down because there was a lot of dudes there, man. And so, this is around 1999, 2000, 2001 when, having a life sentence, as far as we all were concerned at that point in time, man, we were stuck and never going nowhere because that was the climate of the California Department of Corrections at that particular time, man. But anyway, let me just name off a few of the cats who was there before I get into this story, man. You had Big West from Bounty Hunter. You had Psych from Bounty Hunter. You had KB from Compton, man. You had Snow from Swan. You had Half Head and Pep from Insane. You had my homeboy Head from the Delman Heights area, man. You had Penwan and Prentice from Grape Street. You had Smooth from the Delman Heights area, man. You had my partner Dale. You had my partner Snuff, man, who was from 2 P's and a B, which Psych had started calling Snuff Rookie because he was so young. You had Fat Mac, man. I think Fat Mac was from 456 up out of Pomona, if I'm not mistaken, right? And it was just so many different individuals there, man. And last but not least, also my partner Special K up out of the Harlem area, right? And I'll get into what it was like running across him again. And also another individual I forgot. It was a dude there, real cool, man, by the name of Philly. Philly is unfortunately still locked up. Hopefully he'll be coming home soon. And some people have said that mixed martial arts boxer Kevin Holland is his son. I don't know how true that is or not, but I have heard that a couple of times, man. And also the dude who had gave me the phone call and was asking me, was I coming? His name was D, a good homie and a partner of mine, man. D, I believe, was from PDL, from Pasadena, so D was a real solid dude as well, man. And actually, another big surprise, a dude who I encountered at that party, who I didn't have any idea he was going to be there, was Nene. Yes, I done a story on Nene the African, man. So if you haven't checked that story out, check that story out. It was hilarious, right? And I also happened to get a little video clip of me and Nene. So let's get into that real quick.
Say what's cracking, man. You already know what it is. It's your boy 16 to life. This my partner Africa right here, man. Remember I told that story a couple years ago about Africa, man. This is my boy. I finally bumped into him, man. How you been, man?
I'm cool. I'm doing good, man.
Hey, one of these days I gotta get you on the channel, man.
Hell yeah.
Hey, you remember my homeboy Kiki?
Kiki, yeah.
Hey, you used to play
basketball, yeah.
Hey, I was telling them that time about in in the story, when the Bloods, he was trying to buy that TV from the Bloods, and then they didn't sell you
They
the
didn't sell me
TV.
the TV,
Then
yeah.
you came to my homeboy Pee Wee. You remember what you told Pee Wee?
I said,
You said, I need to join a game.
Oh yeah.
What about you? You remember my homeboy Chances?
Chances,
He used to exercise on the yard all the time. Yeah. Hey, what was you gonna do if you had caught them dudes, man, and sold you that bullshit TV?
Oh my goodness, it would have been over.
Africa said it would have been over. Yeah, man.
Good seeing you, man. Good seeing you.
Yeah, hey, man, y'all stay up, man. This my boy Africa, man. All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And so, yeah, man, you see that Nene is hilarious, man. And also, a good friend of mine I ran across was Penwan, man. Penwan from Grave Street. For anybody that knows Penwan is hilarious, man. Penwan is hilarious. He's still the same old cat. 1,000 jokes. Penwan is crazy, man. And it was good seeing these dudes because, like I said, man, many of us, we lived in the same building together. And the majority of those dudes that I named, every day we would come out on the yard, play basketball, hang out, and after a while, it's almost like you're developing, a family type of bond, right? So now let's get into my partner, man, K, man. Me and K happened to be in the same building together for many, many years, and then we was at another institution after that, right, for several years as well, man. And so, like I said, K had 103 years to life, man. Imagine being sentenced to that amount of time. I believe he was around the age of 31 when he was sentenced to that time, right? And so I don't know, he had a lot of charges that ran consecutively or, stacked on top of each other. A lot of, I think, 45 to life, maybe a 28 to life here and there. I don't remember the exact nature, right? But I know he had 103 years to life for, I believe it was an attempted murder, some robberies or something, man. The dude had a lot of time, right? And I'm going to keep it 100, man. Not one day, not even one day, did I ever see this dude discouraged, man? Did I ever see him down, depressed? This dude was the same dude day in and day out, man. Every single day. He was the same. It's the same. He was never on no moody type of dude. He always had a laugh, a smile, and some encouraging words. And everybody that knows K know he had the same program, man. This dude was consistent. It was two things K was doing. K was on that weight pal, and K was in that law library. Without a question, those was two things he was doing, man. K was built like he had been doing gymnastics all his life, man. Y'all see? So K's probably maybe about 5'8". Probably, I don't know how, maybe about maybe about 185, 189. I don't know, man. But K, man, when I see him at the party, I'm like, I didn't know K was gonna be there. And me and K used to talk every day without fail, right? Like I said, he was always positive. So I see him, I'm like, K, what's up, homie? I give him a hug, man. The dude felt like he had on one of them like Superman suits, like when they make them movies or whatever, and they got the suits with the especially with the with the ab ripples in them. Man, this dude is still chiseled and cut up at the age of 58. Besides hitting that weight pal, and he would be out there probably about 2 hours a day doing a lot of pull-ups, dips, push-ups, back arms. They'd make these heavyweight bags and stuff. He didn't play no basketball. He would get out there and play a little bit of football and stuff. But those were his two main things, man. That weight pal and that law library. And he was always 100% certain that he was getting out, Now, as individuals may have heard me say before, me, myself, I wasn't necessarily always that certain about, my freedom in being able to get out just because of the way the board was structured. They were systematically denying every individual that went to the board pretty much for the most part, But you had individuals like K who remained positive and, one way or another, man, he knew that some type of way God was going to let him out. K has always been an individual, man. Even in prison, he spoke about God, right? Despite his situation, despite whatever he may have been in there, he was firm in his belief that God was going to make a way for him to get up out of prison, man. And lo and behold, after having 103 years to life, man. The dude got out of prison. So pretty much what happened is this, man. They got a bill, it's called an 1170. And after, doing a certain amount of your time, staying out of trouble or whatever, you can file and ask to get resentenced. And so pretty much he filed, and initially they shot him down. Then he filed again and he was resentenced and he was free. They freed him. He stayed in the county jail. He said another 30-45 days. They let him go, man. And the dude is free, right? And so, I seen that night at the party, man. We started chopping up, same okay, special conversations, appreciating his freedom, so on and so forth, right? But he said a few things, honestly, man, that I really needed to hear. And I think that a lot of lifers who get out of prison, and just people who get out of prison, period, man, we need to hear. Sometimes we forget, because once we get out in the hustle and the bustle of the everyday life, sometimes, after a while, man, we kind of forget where we came from, right? And he told me about a situation where he was at a restaurant, chilling, doing his thing, hanging out with a female friend or whatever. And some dude became extremely obnoxious, talking crazy. Like I said, man, K is that little sweatsuit you guys see him got on. It does no justice for, man. That dude is cut up under that thing. Like he could hop in the NFL right now and do his thing, man. And K said, man, he remained extremely humble, telling the dude, hey, man, well, listen, man, I apologize. Oh, yeah, that's what it was. The dude thought that K was looking at his female, or thought his female was looking at K. And for whatever reason, dude became extremely irate, jealous, and so on and so forth. K calmly explained to the brother, said, hey, man, listen, man, I wasn't looking at your woman, man. I don't know what you tripping on, but hey, I apologize, man. What can I do to make this situation better? And he said, dude said some things, started cussing or whatever, walked off. K once again reiterated, man, hey, listen, man, I apologize to you, man, and so on and so forth, man. So K is standing there, he's chilling there, him and his female continue eating. He said that maybe about 4 or 5 minutes, the dude comes back, man, crying. And the dude apologizes and tells him, hey, man, I'm sorry, man. Can I please talk to you, man? I'm sorry, I just been going through some things right now, and so on and so forth, man. And I'm sorry, man, and so on and so forth, right? So it was just really profound to me, the way he handled things. And because K, of course, said that, hey, man, listen, I don't have the luxury of getting into it with anybody and doing anything to anybody because of my past criminal history, man. They will put me up under the jail, in so many words, is what he said, right? And I honestly really needed to hear that, because there has been a time or two, boop, bop, boop, bop, bop, I didn't got cracking with these things out here, you know what I'm saying? And so it was just something that I really needed to hear, because I have also told people around me in my close circle that I really need to remain calm, so on and so forth. At times it's not always possible or easy to keep your composure in these situations. Coming from prison, I think a lot of us feel we are owed a certain amount of respect, not because we're tough and we act hard, or because we've been to prison, but because that's how prison is set up. Prison is a respectful place. So you get in a habit of giving people respect, and you get in the habit of people giving you respect as well. So you might just be in Walmart looking at some broccoli or whatever it is, and all of a sudden somebody reaching all over your head to grab some broccoli or some celery or whatever, and it's a whole bunch of room, and they come right up behind you. It's just so many things, man, that can rub a person the wrong way, man. So just hearing K talk positively and speak on his trials and tribulations, and him remaining mindful to just be peaceful and be humble, was something that I really needed to hear. And he got to talking about, man, chill, man. He said, man, chill, you had life, man. I had life. E had life. Pinwan had life, and now we're here, man. He said, man, we are here because God wanted us to be here. You know what I'm saying? This is something, homie, that was already in the cards, right? And so we pretty much, basically what he was saying was, man, we have to remember those things. He said, man, I would literally do extreme bodily harm if a dude disrespected me and told me out here, sex played me, or told me, to show him my butt. But he didn't use those words. I'm just trying to keep it clean, right? He said, but man, in there, I would willingly, in going on a visit get naked, bend over, squat and cough, and show somebody my backside, you know, in order to go to a visit, because that's the procedure that we have to do when you go into a visit, right? And especially when you come back, man, you have to get naked, all the way naked, you know, lift up your private parts, you know, run your hands through your behind your ear, lift out your tongue, bend over, squat and cough 3-4 times. And, you know, he said, chill, we endured all that type of stuff. You know, we was humiliated beyond mention in there. You know, some of the things we had to do, had our freedom stripped away, you know, had to ask somebody, man, when we could, you know, when could we go to the bathrooms, or when could we eat, or when could we go here? When could we receive medical attention? Now we can do all these things on our own. He said, man, chill, they will never have action at me again, forcing me to do those things, man. He said, I refuse to throw my freedom away, chill. He said, nothing is more important, man, than our freedom. When we think about all the things we went through, all those many years, they had us sleeping in bathrooms, chill. And you know, this is the homie K, man. He has always made sense. This dude has always been motivational in his words, man. And so, you know, some of the things he was saying, I just really needed to hear, because at times, you know, we all can lose ourselves and get caught up in certain situations, right? And so he just reminded me, not intentionally, but through his words, because he was speaking facts and what he was talking made 100% sense, right? So he reminded me through his words, man, to stay humble, respect my freedom, and respect others. Like I said, man, my boy Pinwan was a good dude too, man. Good friend of mine, man. I hope he don't get upset with me putting this out there, man. But Pinwan came to jail for some relatively small charges, a stolen car, something. He had 2 or 3 years, man. Pinwan was 2 or 3 weeks to going to the house, paroling and going home, when he got caught smoking some weed, right? This is around the time they had just enacted the 3 strikes law. Do you know they took this man to court, gave this man a life sentence, hit him with his 3rd strike, being caught with some weed in prison, and he ended up doing 19, 20 years on a life sentence before he was able to, you know, get some legal help and get that life sentence took up off him. Can you imagine, man, doing 18, 19 years for some weed? You going to jail for 2 or 3 years, and they turn that into a life sentence 2 or 3 weeks before you get home. So, you know, we definitely have to stay mindful of all these things, you know, not to mention all the dudes that we was locked up with who got out and unfortunately lost their lives. Some of these dudes committed crimes, and now they're back with more time than we had, and they're never coming home, man. So, you know, when you run across individuals like Kay who are speaking common sense, who are speaking good information, you know, it's a blessing, right? Because we are never too old to get wiser, man. And so running across the homie was definitely something that I needed. It was something that I needed to hear. And I'm hoping that someone else who has done time, whether it's 3 years or 25 years, man, will hear these words, take them to heart, and remember not to jeopardize your freedom, man. You already know what it is. It's your boy 16 to life. Resume normal program.